Josh LaHaye with Team CryoHeat, and we're looking at a Honda Talon and the Honda Pioneer sub transmission. We just popped off the side cover off this brand new sub transmission, and we're going to show you guys what a lot of people are having failures with, and what's actually causing the failure, and what are some of these parts that are actually breaking. So obviously we have the side cover off, so you can see this brand new sub transmission. It's laying sideways. However, this here at the very bottom is the reverse gear. This is your low gear. This one above it is your high gear. So in between your reverse gear and your low gear, you have the shift fork and your dog selector. So the shift dogs, if you can see my poker again, there's your dog for your reverse gear, and there is the shifter dog right there. Those two pieces meet and they engage and they lock up. So if I can move this into the lock position, I'm going to lower the dogs into reverse. Now we'll be able to spin this transmission, and as we're starting to turn, you will see the dogs get closer and closer and closer, and they'll finally make contact. Now I'm obviously spinning the transmission a lot, but this isn't, technically this is you moving like inches on the terrain in your UTV. So here we go, now we're making contact. So you can see, right, stop. You can see right here that we've made contact, okay? So this is a major problem right here, because there's not enough angle for this contact to actually stay locked in position, especially when we're trying to put a load in this transmission, or I should say this sub transmission. These are popping out of gear, especially when you're trying to go from reverse to low, back to reverse, back to low, when you're trying to rock it back and forth, when you're stuck on a rock, or when you're stuck in the mud. This is exactly the failure point of this sub transmission. It happens on your low gear and it happens on your reverse gear, and this is the most catastrophic part in this sub transmission box. The next one would also be the high gear assembly. It works the same way. This is the indicator for high, and this is the dog ring for the high gear, and they will mate just like your reverse and your low will mate. However, they have the same issue. The second problem is this is the final drive shaft for this sub transmission, and with enough of you that are running big tires and big power, we're basically doubling the horsepower now with some of these boosted engines that are built correctly, and they're snapping these shafts. So we're gonna open this whole sub-trans up so you'll see a little bit more of what I'm talking about, and then we'll go into looking at what our parts look like modified, and then we'll talk about the angles and the values of the CryoHeat process, the micro polishing, and all of our fancy machine work to make this sub-trans basically bulletproof.